Hello students. So today we'll be talking about the structure of brain. Let me draw the structure first. Now these structure that I'm drawing is the convoluted part of the brain. This is the forebrain. This is the cerebellum, the hindbrain. Now inside also there will be this kind of structure, and on the lower side it will have hypothalamus and the pituitary. These are the nerves, cranial nerves, NTS in section, and this joins the spinal cord via the pons and the medulla. This hindbrain, this is the forebrain, this is called the grey matter or the cortex. There are some deep fissures within the cortex which divide the forebrain into four different parts. This is the pituitary, hypothalamus and pituitary. This is the cerebellum or the little brain at the back side of our brain, pons and medulla oblongata. Now this is the cranial nerves in section that constitutes the midbrain. These are fissures that divide the forebrain into parts. Now the brain is divided into three main basic parts: the forebrain, the midbrain and the hindbrain. The forebrain is the front part, and this front part has the cortex, and the hind part is the cerebellum at the back side, and the midbrain consists of only the small area which has the cranial nerves in between. Now the forebrain is further divided into cortex, and this is the cerebrum. Cerebrum is the outermost part of the brain, that is the grey matter. It has some non medulated cells जिसके ऊपर कोई medulla वाली कोई covering नहीं है, medullary covering नहीं है, so they appear to be grey. Then this in below the cortex is the thalamus. Now what exactly is thalamus? Thalamus is supposed to be the lower side of the roof of a room. Suppose अगर this is the roof of your room, so just below that portion, the white thing that is there you can see is called the thalamus, and below the thalamus is called the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus means below the thalamus, and this forms the pituitary and the this. Now this portion of thalamus will be having some big cells, and these cells will be in such a way, they are arranged in such a way that the message from the thalamus and that's from the cortex could be transferred to the other nerves of this area. Now the brain performs many functions, especially the forebrain helps in thinking, and thinking involves a very complex, it's a complex mechanism and the neural connections, and which are all concentrated within this cortex part. Now from the cortex, this part is called the thalamus, and this lower part is called the hypothalamus. Now the cells from the cortex will be sending messages through the thalamus into the nerves. So there will be cranial nerves that are constituted in the midbrain here, and these nerves will be reaching to the spinal cord. And the last part, the hindbrain. Hindbrain has cerebellum, the backside of your brain, that is a little brain. Then we have the pons varolii and the medulla oblongata, which finally ends up into the spinal cord. Now the area from the hypothalamus, the pituitary, the pons varolii and the medulla will be constituting the brainstem. So let us today talk about the functions of cerebrum. So we'll be talking about cerebrum today. Cerebrum is also called cerebral hemispheres. Now, what are the functions of cerebral hemisphere? It helps in thinking, logic, reasoning, then our personality is all decided by the cerebral hemisphere. Now it has following areas. Now the cerebral hemisphere further has many areas performing different functions. Like the first one is called the sensory part. Now this sensory part will be processing the sensory information. Like messages. Now the nerves will be bringing the messages to this part. Sensory means the messages are coming from the sense organs and they'll be processed at this part. Next is the motor areas. So from this part, this will be sending responses to various parts of the body. Then the third thing is the association areas. Now here the sensory information is processed, it is put together with the information from the other areas of the brain as well as from the memory and processed. Now whatever is to be analyzed in the body, in the brain, that will be all done by the association areas. तो आपकी मेमोरी में क्या है, आपने पहले क्या देखा है, सोचा है, वो सब चीज़ें दे आर अगेन ब्रॉट बैक इनटू योर कॉर्टेक्स एंड एवरीथिंग विल बी टुगेदर एनालाइज्ड, एसोसिएटेड एंड एनालाइज्ड. आपने पहले कुछ सपोज यू हैड सम स्मेल या कोई टेस्ट आपने कभी पहले फील किया है, तो सेंस किया है, तो वो सब चीज़ें आपके मेमोरी में होंगी, उसको रिट्राइव किया जाता है और फिर उसको एनालाइज किया जाता है. दैट इज़ द बेसिक फंक्शन ऑफ योर एसोसिएशन एरिया. ऑल्सो सपोज जैसे कि आपकी कोई भी सेंसरी फंक्शंस आ रहे हैं आपके सेंस ऑर्गन से और आपके ब्रेन से जो फंक्शंस एक रिस्पॉन्स जाएगा, वो उसके बीच में क्या होगा, उसके बीच में एक एनालाइजिंग एरिया होगा एंड दिस इज़ व्हाट इज़ द एसोसिएशन एरिया. तो आपकी पर्सनालिटी से लेकर आपके मेमोरी से लेकर एवरीथिंग विल बी एनालाइज्ड एंड दैट इज़ हाउ द एसोसिएशन एरिया विल बी फंक्शनिंग. आपने पहले क्या सोचा है, पहले कभी क्या देखा है, उन सब चीज़ों को एनालाइज किया जा सकता है. इनफैक्ट दैट इज़ हाउ मेमोरी इज़ द सेम थिंग. मेमोरी मीन्स अगेन बहुत बार आपने पहले कभी चीज़ें देखी हैं, सुनी हैं, उन सब चीज़ों को एनालाइज करेगा, तो ये दिस द एरिया दैट विल बी डूइंग ऑल दोज फंक्शंस. तो लेट मी अगेन टॉक अबाउट कि पूरा बताती हूँ कि क्या हो रहा है. नाउ सपोज आपका ब्रेन कैसे फंक्शन कर रहा है. नाउ सपोज आपके यू आर हैविंग सम पेन इन योर फिंगर. तो क्या होता है एग्जैक्टली, आपके फिंगर से एक मैसेज आपके स्पाइनल कॉर्ड के थ्रू होता हुआ आपके सेरिब्रम, आपके ब्रेन तक जाता है. ब्रेन में भी कहाँ, सो रीचिंग योर सेरिब्रल हेमिस्फेयर और उसके भी कॉर्टेक्स पोर्शन में. और वहाँ पे क्या होगा, ये मैसेज रिसीव होगा, दैट इज़ द सेंसरी एरिया. और उसके बाद वो मैसेज आपकी थिंकिंग, आपकी लॉजिक, आपकी रीजनिंग, आपकी मेमोरी, सब चीज़ों को एनालाइज करके आपने पहले कभी ऐसा सेंस किया है या नहीं किया है, उन सब चीज़ों को एनालाइज करके फाइनली इट विल बी योर, दैट इज़ व्हाट वी से इज़ अ एसोसिएशन एरिया. तो जो एनालाइज करेगा वो एसोसिएशन एरिया होगा. और फिर एक मैसेज वापस आपके हैंड की मसल्स तक जाएगा. वहाँ पे क्यों जाएगा, मे बी योर हैंड नीड्स टू बी मूव्ड बैक और मे बी योर हैंड द मसल्स समवेयर हैज़ टू बी कॉन्ट्रैक्टेड और वट एवर हैज़ टू बी डन. तो वहाँ तक आपके ब्रेन से एक मैसेज जाएगा. सो दिस इज़ गोइंग वाया द motor area, from the motor area through the motor nerves and to the muscles of your, that is the effector organ, of your hand, and thus your muscles will be contracting, or maybe आपका hand जो है पीछे हो जाएगा, या whatever has to be done with the thing, managing the whatever is the problem will be done. So इस तरीके से हमारा brain जो है वो especially the cortex region जो है that is functioning. So let's now talk about the next organ in the brain, hypothalamus. Now hypothalamus is the neuroendocrine portion of the brain. Neuroendocrine means it is in between nervous system and the endocrine system. It is a junction between the two. Endocrine means this will be secreting hormones. So whenever I say that the endocrine organs are the ductless glands, and they always help in secretion of hormones. Now the most important part is the hypothalamus. Hypo means below. This is below the thalamus. Thalamus is suppose I told you about that. Suppose this room is the brain. So ये जो roof है that is the thalamus, और उसके नीचे का जो आपको ये white दिख रहा है that is the hypothalamus. And below this hangs the hypophysis, and that is what we call as the pituitary. So this is the pituitary gland. So this will be secreting some hormones. In fact, the hypothalamus will be the super master gland which controls all the other glands, and indirectly this controls the pituitary. तो यहाँ से कुछ hormones release होंगे. They are called the releasing hormones, RH, and inhibitory hormone, IH. Now these hormones will be they'll be poured via a hypophyseal portal system up to the pituitary. Like whatever is being released from the hypothalamus यहाँ से, and these hormones will be poured here in the pituitary. So this is a part of circulatory system where this vein will be pouring the hormones, will be taking the hormones, and these hormones will be deloaded somewhere in the pituitary, this anterior part of pituitary. And this is that is why it is called hypophyseal portal system, because this is a part of this is a branching of a vein which instead of going to the heart directly moves to the pituitary first. This pituitary will be now further releasing all the hormones, that will be the stimulatory hormones, which will be going and affecting other endocrine organs. So the hormones that will be released from pituitary, suppose it is TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, so that will go and affect the thyroid gland. So now let's talk about how the hypothalamus will be releasing the hormone and how it will be affecting different organs. Now the hypothalamus, which is we say is the supermaster gland, will be releasing suppose a hormone TSH-RH. This is thyroxine stimulating hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, releasing hormone. Now this will be going and affecting the anterior lobe of pituitary. Now this goes via the hypophyseal portal system. So the hormone is secreted in hypothalamus, and it is released in the it is deloaded in the pituitary, and the anterior lobe of pituitary will be releasing a hormone called thyroid stimulating hormone, or TSH, which goes and affects the thyroid gland, and thyroid gland will be releasing hormone thyroxine. And you know thyroxine क्या करती है? Thyroxine will be affecting the metabolism of the person. So the amount of thyroxine in the blood will be stimulating the energy formation. So the more the thyroxine in the blood, more will be the ATPs synthesized in the body. Now suppose the thyroxine is increased in the blood, so this can be negatively affecting the self release. That means it will be inhibiting the hypothalamus, and it will start releasing an inhibitory hormone, IH. So automatically TSH, RH will be not secreted, and the TSH will also be not secreted. So the process of secretion of thyroxine will automatically stop. This we call as the feedback mechanism. So what is feedback mechanism? Accumulation of the product or the metabolic products, metabolite in the blood will automatically be inhibiting its own secretion. So that is what we call as the feedback control. In fact, हमारी body में most of the hormones and most of the metabolites, they are self-controlled like this. So that is one of the mechanism of control or production of any metabolite in the blood. So let's see other functions of hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is also called the thermostat of the body. Thermostat means it is temperature controlling. Now आपकी बॉडी को गर्मी लग रही है, सर्दी लग रही है, who is sensing all that? That is your hypothalamus, and the temperature has to be controlled. So it is the hypothalamus that we can say is the sensing organ. It maintains the body temperature to 37 degrees centigrade. Now what else it do? It can also sense hunger, that is the need for food. Now आपको कब खाना है, कब नहीं खाना है, that is sensed by the hypothalamus, and it is the sugar level that is sensed. Also thirst, you want to drink water or not, that is again there are some osmoreceptors in the hypothalamus, and these cells can sense the need for water. So you'll be drinking water as and when the salt concentration increases in the blood, and this is sensed by your osmoreceptors in the hypothalamus. Then the other body needs are also sensed by hypothalamus. Your anger, your mood, your memory is also affected by hypothalamus. So this part is basically controlled by a limbic system. It's a part of it's a near hypothalamus only. It's a small structure, lip-like structure, which helps in sensing the mood swings, anger, rage, and other such things. So next let's talk about the midbrain. Now a midbrain is a connection between the hind and the forebrain. This is the connection between forebrain and the hindbrain. has corpus callosum, that is X-shaped arrangement of cranial nerves. Now the cranial nerves, they cross from the left and the right portion, and they form a X-shaped structure in between the two cerebral hemispheres. Now this is a typical feature of all the mammals only. Nowhere else in any other animal group will have this structure. So this X-shaped structure is called corpus callosum, and it is basically like the you have two parts of cerebral hemisphere. So from the left portion there will be 12 cranial nerves that will be moving towards the right of your body, and there will be 12 cranial nerves from the right that will be moving to the left part of your body. In fact आपका लेफ्ट ब्रेन जो है वो आपके राइट पोर्शन को कंट्रोल करता है, और जो आपका राइट है वो लेफ्ट को कंट्रोल करता है. So let's talk about the hindbrain now. Now hindbrain is the cerebellum, which is present at the back side of your brain. This controls the voluntary muscles, controls the voluntary skeletal muscles. Which involve learning, for example like typing, swimming, cycling. ऐसी एक्टिविटीज़ जो कि आपकी वॉलंटरी मसल्स करती हैं, बट दैट विल बी रिक्वायरिंग लर्निंग. Suppose you have to type or swim, so you have to learn it, and then this stays in your memory at the back side of your brain. That is what we say is the cerebellum or the little brain. So it is also called little brain, or arbor vitae, ARBORVITAE, arbor vitae. This means branching of a tree, because the shape looks something like that. So that is why it is also called arbor vitae, and it is also called vermis, VERMIS. Vermis in Latin means worm. So this also looks like a worm. So कैसा दिखता है hind brain? It is something like this. It has the medulated and non-medulated fibers. They are all intertwined, which gives the appearance of a branching of a tree. So that is how the name. So next thing is the next part of the hindbrain is called pons veruli. Now pons means the bridge. So this is a bridge between the forebrain and the midbrain. So it connects the forebrain with the midbrain. Then we have the medulla oblongata. This is the last part of the hindbrain. Medulla oblongata controls the involuntary functions of the body, like sneezing, coughing, swallowing, respiration. It has the respiratory center also. It has the center for cardiovascular system, heart की activity, yeah, what are the or whatever are the involuntary functions. So next thing is the spinal cord. This is another part of the central nervous system. Like the central nervous system has a brain and spinal cord. So let us see how the brain and the spinal cord, they are together there. Now suppose this is the brain. So from the cranium arises a brain stem that continues as a spinal cord, and from this hole in the skull, that's called the foramen magnum. Foramen means a hole and magna means big. So there's a big hole in the skull, and from this arises 12 pairs of cranial nerves. So these cranial nerves, they'll be moving out from this hole only, and they are reaching up to your shoulders only. They don't go beyond this except for the vagus nerve. Now from the spinal cord will arise, there will be some 26 pairs of spinal nerves. So on both the sides, in pair will arise the spinal nerves. They are basically 33, but in the end many of them, they are fused. So that remains to 26. So this is the cranium, this is the skull, the spinal nerves are also of different types on the basis from which part of the spinal cord they are coming out. There could be cervical, thoracic, lumbar, and the sacral. The first 7 of the spinal nerves, they are called the cervical nerves, because they are coming out from in the neck region. So there will be 7 for all the mammals. Then comes out the 12 thoracic. Thoracic means I am talking about the upper back. And then there will be 5 lumbar, they are called from the lower back. And there will be 4 fused into one, they are the sacral. So the next thing is let us take a section of the spinal cord. So in TS, the spinal cord shows it's a cylindrical structure basically, and if you take a section of that, so it will look something like this. So it is a cylinder which is थोड़ा सा जैसे कहें कि it's constricted, and on the ventral side there will be a deep fissure, whereas on the dorsal side there will be a shallow fissure. And from both the sides of the spinal cord will arise the horns. एक ऊपर वाला कहलाएगा डॉर्सल हॉर्न और नीचे वाला कहलाता है वेंट्रल हॉर्न, एंड इन द सेंटर विल बी द सेंट्रम. देयर इज अ कैविटी इनसाइड. This is the grey matter, the butterfly shaped grey matter. This one. This is the grey matter. जैसे ब्रेन में grey matter बाहर होता है, spinal cord में it will be on the inner side, and the white matter will be on the outer side. This is the white matter. So basically it is the grey matter that will be performing the association functions, and it will be making the decisions and other things. So the grey matter is inside in the spinal cord, and it was outside in the cortex of the brain. Grey का मतलब होगा that the cells will not be having the medullary sheath or the fat covering. Myelin sheath नहीं होगी. So that is why the cells, they appear grey. Now spinal cord has this deep fissure on the ventral side. इसको ventral sulcus बोलेंगे. Ventral का मतलब है towards our front, and dorsal fissure is a shallow one. Dorsal means towards our back. The spinal cord की जो position है उसके according. There is a centrum, The centrum is filled with cerebrospinal fluid. It's a liquid that was filled in the brain's ventricle also. Then this is the dorsal horn, the ventral horn. Basically, they carry the sensory and the motor nerves. So, from the dorsal horn, there will be some sensory nerves entering the spinal cord. From the ventral horn, it will be the motor nerve coming out, and they all together will be moving in a mixed nerve. So, this is the this is the sensory nerve that is coming out from the sense organ. So, here there will be a there will be a sensory neuron. Then the sensory neuron will be forming a connection with the association area and a motor neuron and a motor nerve, which finally affects the effector organ. Effector organ can be a muscle. So, this is how the arrangement of nerves is. It is always this way. एक सेंस ऑर्गन से सेंसरी नर्व मैसेज लेकर आएगी. इट इज़ ऑल्सो कॉल्ड द अफरेंट नर्व. सेंस ऑर्गन कुड बी योर स्किन, and the effector organ can be the hand muscles, and the message is received via the motor nerve. The motor nerve will be always moving away from the central nervous system, whereas the sensory nerve will be always moving towards the central nervous system. So, a sensory nerve is also called the afferent nerve, and the motor nerve is called the efferent. Efferent means it is going away. Afferent means it is coming towards. And in between is this association cells. They are the decision making. They always lie in the grey matter, जैसे ब्रेन में भी था. सो यहाँ पे सभी डिसीजन लिए जाएंगे. एंड स्पेशली स्पाइनल कॉर्ड कब डिसीजन लेगी? व्हेन देयर इज़ एन इमरजेंसी. सो इट इज़ समथिंग लाइक द वाइस प्रिंसिपल ऑफ योर बॉडी ऑफ द स्कूल अथॉरिटी. सो डिसीजन अगर इमरजेंसी में लेना है एंड द प्रिंसिपल इज़ नॉट देयर इन द स्कूल, सो इट इज़ द ग्रे मैटर ऑफ द स्पाइनल कॉर्ड दैट विल बी टेकिंग द डिसीजन. सो यहाँ पे सपोज अगर आपके हैंड जो है, हैंड की स्किन दिस इज टचिंग अ हॉट पैन, so immediately there will be a nerve that is taking the message, the grey matter will be processing it, and finally your motor nerve will be carrying the response and your hand will be withdrawn. So such a kind of a fast reaction is called the reflex action. So the next thing is the peripheral nervous system. So our nervous system has central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. So peripheral nervous system consists of all the nerves, 12 pairs of cranial nerves, that arise from the brain, and the 33 pairs of the spinal nerves, although they fuse the end ones, they fuse into and forming 26, remaining 26 only. And there is a somatic, the peripheral nervous system is further has two parts: somatic nervous system, SNS. Soma means body cells. So these are the nerves which innervate the peripheral tissues, like your skeletal muscles, skin, muscles. And then we have the autonomic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system means the nerves, there will be involuntary control, and this time these nerves, the cranial and the spinal nerves, they will be innervating the inner tissues. The inner tissues could be your alimentary canal, your glands, and the soft organs, visceral organs, like the urinary bladder, intestine, stomach, even the heart. Now these nerves will be again further, this autonomic nervous system can be further divided into sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system will be activated only when there is emergency, so this will be generally stimulating the organs, and autonomic nervous system generally is active when there is normal functioning of the body. So we call it as sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Both forms the part of autonomic nervous system. Autonomic का मतलब है they are self control. Your will is not controlling it. Like the peripheral nervous system, it was your wish to control that organ or not, but not in the autonomic nervous system. You cannot do it on your own. So this is how the nervous system is.